Welcome to Krakow!
Darling, you've got to keep holding on through.
Hello and welcome back to the channel where you join Myz and me as we set off for a Christmas adventure to Krakow on Boxing Day. A £12 Uber ride from the airport brought us to our beautiful apartment on the edge of the old town. It was beautifully decorated throughout, really spacious, and had everything that we needed. It was just an 8-minute stroll from Rynek Glony, which is the old town main square. It was quite late at this point, so we just wandered around the Christmas market, soaked up the atmosphere, and then headed back to the apartment. It was an early start the next day with an 8:25 a.m. pickup for a day trip to Zakopane with 1,000 miles Krakow. Mikhail was our guide for the day, and our first stop was the small village of Krakow, which had some of the oldest houses of the region.
On the right side is from where we're gonna collect the cheese for you guys as well. If you would like to come inside and see how it looks like, feel free, and as well if you would like to buy some extra cheese.
Our next stop was to try some oshipek, which is a traditional Highlander smoked cheese made of salted sheep milk made exclusively in the Tatra Mountains. It's usually pan-fried and served with cranberry jam on the side. There was also some flavoured vodka tasting.
Na zdrowie means cheers, but as well we have a birthday party, so we can say 100 lat, which means 100 years, guys. Feel free, come to the table, grab the shot.
We then headed to Zakopane, where Mikhail guided us to the front of the queue for the funicular ride up to Gawałska. Gawałska is a popular tourist attraction, offering commanding views over the Tatras and down over Zakopane. The funicular opened in 1938, connecting Zakopane and the top of Gawałska. We had a lovely stroll through the mini market stalls where you could pick up local souvenirs, food, or simply enjoy the magnificent views with a drink or two. Back down in Zakopane, the queues to go up the funicular were now huge, and we were feeling a bit hungry, so walked through the various market stalls and had a very enjoyable lunch. Our final stop was at the Chochołowskie Thermy, which is one of Poland's biggest thermal pools. Mikhail showed us inside and made sure we knew how to use the lockers. I didn't really want to take my phone, so I've used some of the 1,000 miles Krakow photos just to show you. There were various health pools inside and out, saunas and places to eat. It was exceptionally busy, which I didn't really enjoy, but Myz loved it. The next morning, our guide Pavel from Hello Krakow collected us for a visit to Auschwitz and Birkenau. The next day we spent exploring Myz, which is Krakow's historic old Jewish quarter. Myz picked up a brand new coat at the market, and then we headed for a very famous filming location used in the Steven Spielberg movie Schindler's List. It was now full of vintage clothing stores and quirky shops. It was then time for our guided tour with Walkative around Oskar Schindler's factory. Our guide Mateusz was outstanding, with lots of unbelievable personal, heartbreaking stories of people in Krakow and their struggles in the war. And whilst there wasn't a whole lot about Oskar Schindler himself, there were areas of the museum used in the film, such as the staircase used for a very famous scene, and parts of Oskar's office. Oskar Schindler's real office wasn't actually featured in the film, but you get to see complete with his original wall map. Our last full day in Krakow was spent with Krakow for You, with a tour of the UNESCO World Heritage Site at Wieliczka Salt Mine. We entered the mine via 360 steps down over 50 plus levels to finally reach 130 metres underground. This tour is not for you if you're even mildly claustrophobic, and also be prepared for some really sore calf muscles for a few days after too. Also, be warned, the mining lift back to the surface is not for the faint-hearted.
Oh dear God. So it's not.
Our driver Conrad then gave us a little tour of some famous sites in Krakow on the way back, including the last remaining piece of wall from the Jewish ghetto, and Black Bohatera Ghetto, which was the Jewish deportation area. We spent the rest of the day exploring the old town.
A sunny day, but it's cold outside. It tingles in my heart. Breathing air that clears my mind. I'm all for a good start. I hear those jingle bells, people singing about love. It feels like I'm a kid, like I'm forever young. And that's why I wanna sing about the Christmas on its way. A reason to hang around.
On our final day, we had a late flight, so booked a walking tour of Wawel Castle and Cathedral with Interact. Our guide Helen was so passionate about the history and full of lots of facts and information. We can totally recommend doing this tour. Outside Wawel Cathedral hang the bones of the Smok Wawawski, the famous Krakow dragon. Sadly, there was no photography allowed inside the stunning cathedral other than the underground area. And what better way to end our time in Krakow than a visit to the famous Smok Wawawski itself. We had the most magical time in Krakow with memories that will stay with us forever. Thanks for watching and Happy New Year to all of our subscribers.